Education merely to gain technical knowledge, apart from careful attention to character formation, eventually results in an organization or society without strong moral leadership. Hello, I'm Stuart Baskin, pastor of First Presbyterian Church of Tyler, Texas, and this is your daily devotional for Thursday, October 30th, 2025. As most of you know, I went to Davidson College, a small Presbyterian liberal arts college, which also happens to be the school from which most of our former pastors graduated. And like a lot of these colleges, character development and leadership development were every bit as important to the school's mission as the courses we took and the information we learned. I make no claim whatsoever that Davidson alone provides this kind of education, but it appears to me that the number of such schools is on the decline, victims in part of the headlong chase to elevate economic gain above all other goods. Don't get me wrong, there's nothing wrong with economic gain per se, unless it is the only measure of what is good. In the 1987 movie Wall Street, Michael Douglas portrays an almost comical but creepy caricature of a man named Gordon Gekko, whose very name suggests his reptilian nature. In what has become the signature line of this anti-hero, Gekko tells a hungry young stockbroker named Bud Fox, played by Charlie Sheen, greed, for lack of a better word, is good. And lest you think this is just a bit of theatrical excess, this line is an almost direct quote from Ivan Boesky, an infamous corporate raider, in a 1986 graduation speech to the University of California at Berkeley School of Business Administration, in which he said, "Greed is right." Let that sink in for a minute. Greed is right. Now, a lot of very smart people in those days made an awful lot of money through morally corrupt means. For that matter, there have always been people who got ahead through corrupt means, which is to say, there are a lot of very smart people in the world who do a lot of really morally questionable things. Why? Because intelligence does not guarantee a strong moral compass. Intelligence and virtue are simply not the same thing. This principle is eloquently stated in Forrest Gump by the title character who says more than once, "Stupid is as stupid does." All of which brings me back to the importance of leadership that is firmly tethered to high moral ideals and character training, and why the Presbyterian Church founded so many little liberal arts colleges around the country. We have always known, somewhere deep in our bones, that as important as education is, acquiring knowledge alone does not constitute a quality education. So there's a familiar story in the Bible that underlines the importance of moral character. I won't read it all because it is a little long, but the opening sentence really tells you all you need to know. It says, "In the spring of the year, the time when kings go out to battle, David sent Joab with his officers and all Israel with him. They ravaged the Ammonites and besieged Rabbah. But David remained at Jerusalem." The story, of course, goes downhill from there, for it is the shameful story of David and Bathsheba. And as we know, it's not the end of David's story, and David is ultimately redeemed, but it is a story of leadership without a moral compass. A moral compass is the difference between a king who has to hide his sins and a king who commands the respect of his people. A moral compass is the difference between greed and ill-gotten gain and economic success honorably earned. A moral compass is the difference between cheating to win and losing honorably. A moral compass is the difference between a despot and a strong public servant. A moral compass is the difference between doing the expedient thing and taking the hard but honest road. It turns out there is never a time when moral leadership is unimportant. Character training will always be important. Now may God continue to bless you and keep you in all that you do this day and in all the days ahead.